Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Israel's war cabinet meets again to discuss response to Iran's attack. Iran warns that any action by Israel against its interests will receive a severe response. Hunt for potential jurors on as Donald Trump's historic hush money trial enters second day in New York City. And the Paris Olympic Games torch is lit in ancient Olympia ahead of its opening on 26th of July. Israel's war cabinet met again to discuss its response to Iran's attack. Now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu summoned his war cabinet for the second time in less than 24 hours over Iran's missile and drone attack. Israel, however, did not make public whether a decision had been reached. While Iran has signaled that it considers the matter closed, the Israeli military's chief of staff said that the attack will not go unanswered.
I want to thank all our international partners who stood up to Iran's aggression. Iran's attack has created new opportunities for cooperation in the Middle East. We are closely assessing the situation. We remain at our highest level of readiness. Iran will face the consequences for its actions. We will choose our response accordingly.
Meanwhile, Iran says any action against its interest will be responded to. Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi warned on Tuesday that the smallest action against its interests will be met with a severe, widespread and painful response against any perpetrator. According to an Iranian news agency, Raisi told this to Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. EU foreign ministers are due to meet on Tuesday to focus on de-escalation and security of the West Asia region after Iran's unprecedented missile and drone attack on Israel. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said on Monday that he will speak to his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu on how to prevent escalation in the region. Sunak further said that Hamas not just wanted to kill but to destabilize the entire region. DD India's Ishan Garg has more from Brussels.
A huge degree of discomfort. There's a massive level of anxiety because people here don't want any further escalation in the Middle East, and that's why this foreign ministers meeting has been called on an urgent level just a day before the 27 heads of states of the European Union are going to meet here in Brussels. Now, there is a possibility that the foreign ministers are going to discuss new sanctions on Iran, which gives you a sense of the mood because they clearly see that Iran is the one currently escalating tensions in the Middle East.
Conflict in Gaza must end. Hamas, which is backed by Iran, started this war. They wanted not just to kill and murder, but to destabilize the whole region. This weekend, they rejected the latest hostage deal, which offered a road to a ceasefire. It is Israel's right, and indeed its duty, to defeat the threat from Hamas terrorists and defend its security.
Meanwhile, no such plans or actions have been planned against Israel so far as this particular episode between Israel and Iran is concerned. So there is a degree of uncertainty which is leading to some anxiety in Brussels because countries here want to show that they are in solidarity with Israel, but at the same time they've also in the past expressed concerns for Israel's own actions in Gaza.
All right, moving on. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's hush money trial enters a second day on Tuesday as lawyers are still trying to select the New York City jurors. Over half of the 100 potential jurors questioned were dismissed after saying that they could not impartially judge the accused. Manhattan District Attorney has charged Trump with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to cover up a hush money payment to adult star before the 2016 election. Trump has pleaded not guilty and denies an encounter took place. In some more news from the US, Indian-American lawmaker Sri Thanedar has raised concerns over the rising incidence of attacks targeting Hindu temples across the United States. In an engagement with members of the Hindu community on Monday, Thanedar highlighted an urgent need for law enforcement agencies to take decisive action. Now, this comes shortly after Thanedar introduced a resolution against Hindu phobia in the lower chamber of the US legislature, condemning anti-Hindu bigotry, hate and intolerance against the community.
Basically, we've seen a lot of attacks happening on Hindu temples across the United States, and we've seen a lot more in more recent times. And it's time for us to seek, support. There's a fear that is, many Hindu communities are under fear. And what we've seen is that we haven't seen local law enforcement hasn't taken enough action. We have not seen any suspects, any arrests, any resolution to these issues. And that has created a lot of fear among the Indian American community, among the Hindu community, a lot of misinformation that has been spread. And so the purpose of this resolution is to bring that to the attention of the Congress and to the Biden administration.
Across the Atlantic, the UK will host its parliamentary election this year, though the date is still not public. All 650 seats are up for grabs, meaning a new party could take power and a new Prime Minister take charge. DD India's Stuart Smith has more from London on how this process unfolds.
From northern Scotland to southern England, in cities and villages, the British people are preparing to vote. For 650 prospective lawmakers, there's one goal: to represent their part of the UK in the national parliament. It's here, in the House of Commons, where members of Parliament, or MPs, debate the issues of the day. But for any lawmaker to get here, they need to be voted in. Each adult UK citizen or Commonwealth citizen who has permission to live in the UK can choose to vote.
They give you a ballot paper which could be just 3 names on it: Tory, Conservative, Labour and Liberal Democrat, or it could have about 20 names on it with loads of independent candidates and so on. But in the actual act of voting, all you've got to do is mark one candidate.
People choose who they would like to represent their local area or constituency. The UK is broken up into 650 of them, and one lawmaker represents each location.
In that constituency, you can have someone who only gets, say, 25% of the vote, but as long as they win more votes than the next person, then they will be declared duly elected.
Usually a candidate will run as part of a political party, but they don't have to. In power since 2010 is the more right-leaning Conservative Party, headed by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Their strongest rival is the more left-wing Labour Party, headed by Keir Starmer. Other parties exist, but they aren't likely to take power, with the UK traditionally a two-party system. When the election is over, party leaders see how many of their candidates have won, and if one party has more than half the lawmakers in Parliament, they can form a government. If not, they can agree to work with one of the smaller parties to form a coalition.
But right now, polls predict the opposition Labour Party is in for a strong chance of winning far more than half the seats in Parliament, meaning it's likely to be a Labour government, with Keir Starmer the favourite to be the next Prime Minister. Stuart Smith in London, reporting for DD India.
And staying in the UK, the government there has announced on Tuesday that it will legislate to criminalize the creation of sexually explicit deepfake images. As per the new guidelines, anyone found guilty of creating fake sexual images of people without their consent will face a criminal record, an unlimited fine, and even jail if the image is widely shared. The new offence will be introduced through an amendment to the Criminal Justice Bill. A deepfake is an image or video that has been digitally altered with the help of artificial intelligence to replace the face of one person with the face of another. Moving on, a 30-member business delegation from India has visited Uganda to explore opportunities with the hope of investing in this East African country. The group held meetings with the Ministry for Investment, visited agriculture research organizations, and also held a business meeting in the capital, Kampala. DD India's Isabel Nakiria reports.
Indian business people drive Uganda's economy, from tea and coffee processing to manufacturing and pharmaceuticals. Estimates show nearly 20,000 Indian citizens live and work in Uganda. Now Uganda is inviting even more Indian investors into the country.
We have all the raw materials, whether it was agricultural inputs or it is minerals. We have them here. But what we have not done is exploit our God-given resources.
Uganda exports coffee, tea, cocoa beans and dried legumes to India, but most of it goes unprocessed. Uganda is hoping to enhance its agriculture exports by adding value to its produce, and is looking into partnering with Indian farms. This Indian delegation is scouting for investment opportunities to improve trade between the two nations. Trade between Uganda and India has grown by at least 25% in the last 3 decades. And Uganda wants to tap more into the Asian countries' technological advancements in agro-industry, health and manufacturing.
Based on my discussions with officials in the Ministry of Health, officials in the Fed Bank and ICT, they see India as a logical partner in the necessary direction of moving towards digitization.
Uganda says it's offering attractive incentives to foreign investors, which include a 10-year tax holiday, free land for setting up factories, and a tax exemption on plants and machinery imported into the country. The Indian firms represented at this meeting have shown interest in setting up industries.
These B2B meetings will foster collaboration between companies, will ensure that people understand the potential that Uganda can offer to India, and I am sure that this will enhance bilateral trade between India and Uganda.
Indian citizens make up less than 1% of Uganda's population, but they contribute up to 65% of the country's tax revenue. It's expected this figure will go up with more Indian companies opening shop in the country. Isabel Nakiria in Kampala, reporting for DD India.
In a bid to restrict the onrush of bots and fake accounts, new users on social media platform X may now be required to pay a small annual fee to be able to like, post, bookmark and reply. The company has informed that users can still follow accounts and browse X for free. But following an update on Monday, the website said that in order for new accounts to post, like, bookmark and reply, they must first pay a nominal annual charge. And still to come on DD India Live. The BJP releases a list of 7 Lok Sabha candidates for Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Maharashtra and West Bengal. Home Minister Amit Shah holds a rally in Jammu, while Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge addresses a rally at Dimapur in Nagaland. And Meghalaya celebrates Shatshuk Minsum, which marks the coming of spring in the state.
Tracking the first phase of general elections, Team Poll Pulse has reached India's northeast in Assam. This is the tea city of India, Dibrugarh.
They
are not getting jobs in the local area like in Dibrugarh or nearby districts and all.
Home to the finest tea, the state is set for a cracker of a contest. This is 2024. Can the Congress and allies offer a fight back, or will the Modi juggernaut be unstoppable? Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Let's now get you the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. Political parties are still finalizing their candidates for the upcoming election. The BJP has released a list of 7 Lok Sabha candidates from Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Maharashtra and West Bengal. In its latest list, Abhijit Das has been fielded in West Bengal's Diamond Harbour constituency against TMC's Abhishek Banerjee. Udayan Raje Bhosle would contest from Maharashtra's Satara, Anita Som Prakash from Hoshiarpur and Parampar Kaur Sidhu from Bathinda, among others. From Uttar Pradesh, Shashank Mani Tripathi will take up fight in Deoria and Thakur Vishwadeep Singh will contest from Firozabad. The BJP has also announced candidates for the Odisha Assembly election and Telangana and Uttar Pradesh Assembly by-elections. Campaigning for the first phase of the Lok Sabha election is in top gear as leaders of various political parties are campaigning across the states to woo voters. The Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, addressed 2 public meetings in Bihar's Gaya and Purnia. Prime Minister Modi said that the Congress and its allies are trying to use Constitution as a weapon for their own political benefit. Addressing a public meeting in Gaya in Bihar this morning, the PM said that a false narrative is being created by opposition parties to mislead people that the BJP will change the constitution. Criticizing RJD's time in power, he said that RJD is the face of jungle raj and corruption. The Prime Minister also said that the people of the country have decided that BJP should cross 400 seats because the people of the country want to see India become a developed nation by 2047.
चुनाव विकसित भारत, विकसित बिहार के उसी संकल्प का चुनाव है। गया की धरती पर उमड़ा ये जन सैलाब, ये अपार जन समर्थन, आपका ये उत्साह साफ बता रहा है कि फिर एक बार 4 जून
Now, leaders are leaving no stone unturned as the election date for the first phase approaches. Home Minister Amit Shah held a public rally in Jammu. He will also visit Uttarakhand and Madhya Pradesh for public meetings. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur held a public rally at Kishtwar to seek votes for the party's candidate Jitendra Singh, who is contesting from Udhampur. Meanwhile, the president of the Congress party, Mallikarjun Kharge, visited Nagaland to address an election rally in Dimapur on Tuesday. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra took out a roadshow at Jorhat in Assam in support of the India Alliance's candidates of 2 Lok Sabha constituencies, that of Tripura West and Tripura East. The Samajwadi Party's candidate from Mainpuri constituency, Dimple Yadav, filed her nomination on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Congress General Secretary Randeep Surjewala, who was in Nagaland on Tuesday, slammed the BJP and the NDPP for losing their roots in the state. On Tuesday, DMK released its manifesto titled Kovai Rising for the upcoming Lok Sabha election. The manifesto, which was unveiled, made a flurry of promises, including the establishment of a dedicated freight corridor between Chennai, Kovai and Thoothukudi. In Sikkim election campaign for the simultaneous elections for the lone Lok Sabha seat and 32 seats of the state legislative assembly is going on in full swing. The ruling Sikkim Krantikari Morcha and the opposition parties, the Sikkim Democratic Front, the BJP, the Congress and the newly floated Citizen Action Party are making all-out efforts to garner support of the electorate across the state, which will go to the polls on 19th April. Mizoram Police is fully geared up and preparations are underway to ensure free and fair elections for the lone Lok Sabha seat in the state. The police chief of Mizoram, Anil Shukla, said 12 CAPF companies and 4,600 state police personnel have been deployed for the same. He said that 83 flying squads and 81 static surveillance teams have also been deployed and are performing duties in various fields and checkpoints. The officials mentioned that 19 out of 1,280 polling stations are critical polling stations, which will be given extra security. Additionally, there are 138 pink polling stations where all the staff would be women. In Tripura, electioneering is reaching a feverish pitch as leaders from various political parties are seen making a last-ditch effort to woo voters. In the first phase, the Tripura West constituency will go to the polls on 19th April. The state capital Agartala braces to witness major political showdown with the roadshow of Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra on 16th April and a mega rally of senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 17th April, which happens to be the last day of campaigning. For the first time, the accredited media personnel in Tripura will also get the benefit to cast their vote through ballot paper. Home voting for electorates above 85 years of age and for persons with disabilities in the Tripura East parliamentary seat will be held on the 17th and 18th of April. The Union Public Service Commission on Tuesday announced the results of the Civil Services 2023 examination. This year, Aditya Srivastav bagged All India Rank 1 and Animesh Pradhan was ranked 2nd, followed by Donuru Ananya Reddy at 3rd position. This year, the UPSC released a list of 1,016 recommended applicants out of 1,105 reported vacancies, who will be appointed in various departments after the training. An additional 240 individuals were retained on the reserve list. Amid the intense politics ahead of the elections, Meghalaya celebrated Shad Shuk Minsem Festival, which saw participation of thousands of people in the capital, Shillong. Aimed at preserving indigenous traditions and culture, the festival celebrates the coming of spring in the state. Here's a special report by DD India's Akshay Dongre.
As the chill of winter recedes and charm of spring descends on the Khasi hills, thousands of young men, women and children in beautiful traditional outfits perform traditional dance in the capital of Meghalaya. Even heavy rainfall fails to deter their spirit. This traditional dance is part of Shad Shuk Minsem festival, which is the Khasi way of offering their thanks to God for all the blessings and bountiful harvest. The agrarian festival is a way for the people to assert their identity and preserve their culture and has been going on for hundreds of years in the state.
We have been dancing and performing Shad Shuk Minsem for 113 years now. The Khasis people are a matrilineal society. Significance of this dance is like it focuses on the way of life of the Khasis.
For the people of the state, the festival is a proud moment which helps them preserve their culture, traditions and heritage.
It takes place every year because it's like a Thanksgiving. We cultivate crops mostly, so it's like for better prosperity. We feel really, really proud to represent Meghalaya.
Held during the month of April, the festival celebrates spring, symbolic as a season of rebirth, and signifies the beginning of a new cycle during which new seedlings are planted. The agrarian festival also celebrates optimism for the coming year.
In 1899, the Sanghasi was formed by 16 men, all under the age of 30. These 16 young men came up with the Sanghasi organization, to protect, preserve and promote the Khasi indigenous, the Khasi beliefs. This dance, for us, it signifies our identity. It signifies who we are as Khasis. As you can see, the sound of the drums, everything, it has its own meaning.
The biggest visual highlight of Shat Shuk Minsim is the dance and accompanying music, which showcases the beautiful culture of the state and helps the indigenous beliefs and customs flourish into modern time.
Well, let me now get you some sports news, and we're starting with the Paris Olympics. The torch for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games was lit in ancient Olympia in a traditional ceremony on Tuesday, marking the final stretch of the 7-year preparations for the Games' start on 26th of July. Greek actress Mary Mina, playing the role of High Priestess, lit the torch using a backup flame instead of a parabolic mirror that's normally used due to cloudy skies for the start of a relay in Greece and France. It will culminate with the lighting of the Olympic flame in the French capital at the opening ceremony. Paris will host the Summer Olympics for a third time after 1900 and 1924. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.